be a better feeling than it was in April when you were here.
Yeah, it was an important game, obviously, this one, and wasn't pretty. Turned into an arm wrestle, but we got a job done, and on the back of some pretty impressive defence, I thought.
Were you surprised it was such an arm wrestle?
No. It was a tough game earlier on in the season, and as I mentioned the other day, they've played 5 Kiwis this year. They're well aware of the intensity required, and they put us under a bit of pressure. We made a lot of handling errors, and that's finals footy, so there's a lot more pressure, and maybe both sides battle a little bit because of the quality of the defence.
Dave, the Stormers didn't get that line speed up against the Crusaders, Hurricanes, but it seems tonight that it was just up there with what's required to play against New Zealand teams.
Yeah. We're really happy with our defence, if that's what you're referring to. It's an area we put a lot of time into, and the last time we played here, I thought the Stormers were outstanding with ball on hand, and we were well aware we needed to shut them down and to deny them space. So, and I thought when we had the ball, once we hung on to it a bit, it probably took us 20 minutes to get going, we started to build a bit of pressure, and that pressure ended up turning into penalties. So, happy to get a result.
Sam, that 10 minutes before half time, you got 3 penalties. Did that shift the momentum? Do you feel that was the turning point in the game, the final 10 minutes of the first half?
I wouldn't say it was a turning point, but it was nice to get a few points on the board, that's for sure. We've sort of been in the game without really applying any pressure with ball in hand. We seemed to go 2 to 3 phases and lose it, sort of as Dave's talked about. So to get a couple of things like that and have a little bit to show for our effort leading into half-time as well.
Sam, apart from the win, what was the most satisfactory aspect of that game for you?
When it comes to finals footy, a lot of it's about will and desire. Tonight wasn't pretty, and it wasn't some of the best footy we played all year, but the desire and the attitude that we had was really what won it for us tonight, so that's what's pleasing. You can work on those other things, but that's something that's inside the boys.
Did you feel the yellow card was a little bit harsh? Just your thoughts on that incident?
Well, to be honest, I didn't actually realise that it had slipped and come in contact with his jaw until it played on the big screen. So one of those things that the game happens really quickly. It was certainly unintentional, but that's the way the rules are these days. So it's probably a fair call.
Easy to ask you every time you're here, but I mean, in the Stormers, South African teams is never-ending attempt to close that gap compared to a year ago, 60-21. The game in regular season and tonight. How much closer are they than they were this time last year?
Well, they're a lot closer because they've beaten us once and went close again tonight. So, as I mentioned last year, I think we just shocked them. They hadn't played any Kiwi sides, and the intensity and the pace that we played, and we were very accurate last year. It was a pretty impressive performance. So, obviously they're a lot fitter this year, I reckon. Got a far better understanding of the game they're trying to play and how to defend against Kiwi sides. So, even on their tour to New Zealand, they really pushed sides. Hurricanes beat them really late. The Crusaders were pretty emphatic against them, but so they're a good side and got a lot of good young kids coming through.
You've got the Crusaders next week, and you only played them once this year in the regular season, unlike all the other New Zealand sides. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage going into that game?
I don't think it's either. We played them in Fiji. It was a really even battle. We made a couple of defensive errors, and they're good enough to sting us on them. So I think it was 3 tries to 2 to us. So probably the only side that's really stressed them their defence, and so honestly, we're apt to still be in the race. We'll back ourselves to go down to Christchurch, do things right from a recovery point of view, and give it a decent lick. But hopefully we've learned a couple of things from travelling back to Wellington last year, and we've got a pretty good record against Crusader teams. So I know they'll be sitting back there waiting and preparing, but we probably won't spend too much time on the grass. We'll get the bodies right, get the heads right, and run with a plan, and hopefully do it a bit better than we did tonight.
Because Hubs are now on one team, and that's the Lions. I'm not sure if you saw the result in that match. Do you think across the Lions can still make it through to a possible final?
Oh yeah, the Hurricanes are going to have to travel over here now. I'd imagine the Hurricanes are sitting in Sydney cheering for the Sharks, so they'll be on a plane in a few hours getting over to Joburg. So it's tough to win there. So if they do win, they're going to have to travel all the way back to New Zealand to play. So the road becomes a little bit tougher for them.
The Lions had a tough outing against the Sharks, though, and the expectation was that the Lions would do much better. Do you think they can still put up a good fight against a ruthless Hurricane side of it?
It's probably a question for the Hurricanes coach, but oh look, we rate the Lions. They beat us in Hamilton last year. They made a final, and to be honest, if that final had been in Joburg, maybe they would have won it. So they're right up there. Johan's done a great job with that group, and so if they win and we win and we have to come back to Joburg, we'll be happy with whatever happens as long as we win.
Dave, speaking about the travelling and all that stuff, competitions going down back to 15 teams. What are your thoughts on that? Are you happy about that, or?
I was actually talking to Kuban, our security guy, who's been with us every year. We've been here, and I said last time I was here in Bloemfontein, that would be my last time in Africa, and of course we've come back now, and now I'm going to a competition where the Cheetahs and Kings are heading over to too. So who knows? I think South African teams are going to immerse themselves in a couple of competitions, and their rugby will keep growing. So if we have to come back, honestly, we'll back ourselves. It is what it is. Crusaders get the inside running because they were the most consistent New Zealand side, and the Lions are in the same boat. So, yeah.
And then just your thoughts on the competition actually scaling down. Is it for the better of the competition?
Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest. I don't even know what Aussie side's going to go out, but if it's the Force, they finished second in their conference. I thought the Kings and Cheetahs were outstanding at various times this year, and got a lot of good results. So in the end, maybe them going over to the Pro 12's really good for them. So I think ultimately if you'd gone down to 4 sides and the 6 teams combined into 4, you'd be a hell of a lot stronger, wouldn't it? But clearly that's not going to happen.
Dave, are these emotional times for you? Not emotional times for you, and going, not many days like this left.
Yeah, no, I'm
not a very emotional.
Pretty emotional. Oh look, subject or opposite to what Sam's saying, I'm very emotional. No, look.
Must be like that at home.
The big thing for me is there's been a lot of talk and all that, so we haven't even spoken about it as a group. We had an awards dinner the other week where everyone leaving was presented with gifts and so on, and a chance to talk. And I guess I didn't have a lot of emotion on that night. Maybe you'd probably think I should, but at that stage we had a month to go, and my thinking is, we're not finished yet. There'll be a time for a tear and a cuddle, hopefully after winning a final. So, we're still working.
Right, one more question, Dale.
Sam, Dave said there won't be much feed on grass this week in preparation. From a player's perspective, how good are you guys feeling, or the body sore, or do you need a lot of rest this week?
It was a pretty brutal encounter tonight. So, with regards to training week, it's about turning up next Saturday with a full tank and ready to empty that again. So we'll judge it on how quickly we recover, I suppose. But as players, we got full trust in Dave and the Phil, our trainer, to make a good call there.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.